Hello and welcome to Big Orbit Games unboxing video for Commander 2015 Swell the Host deck. My name is Simon and I'll be unboxing this. So Swell the Host is the blue and green enemy colour deck for Commander 2015. What I'm going to do is just open it up. I'm just going to quickly flick through some of the cards in there. I'm not going to go into great details or length. Just going to have a quick look through, just explain the gist of the deck and then go from there. So we get the new commander here, Azuri, Claw of Progress. So this is a character that we saw in the Return to Mirrodin block, so Scars of Mirrodin, etc., who's now a little bit Phyrexian. But I'll explain more about him when we actually get to his card. So the oversized card, useful for denoting where your command zone is, but otherwise it's just pretty. So in here you get a little box to keep it in. You also get a leaflet, which I'm not going to completely open, but it explains all about the deck, how it works, ideas for how to use it, and ideas for expanding it. Because every commander deck should get personalised at some point to your preferred playstyle. So when I can get through this, thank you, get it out of its plastic prison, let's have a look through. So at the top you get tokens to use with your deck. They are double-sided, so we have a snake and a sapling, so they're multi-use tokens. And we also have an experience token. This is useful for the new commanders who have abilities where they gain experience tokens, so this is where you can keep track of them without having to put them on the card and confuse them with other tokens. Counters, sorry. And so we get quite a few tokens in there. And then we'll go on to the actual deck. So this is primarily a green deck, with then blue and a little bit of multicoloured in there as well. And it's got sort of a very average, if not quite a low almost, mana curve, and you'll see why again when we get to Azuri. So just go through. A lot of it's quite green, like I said, with some of the multicoloureds in there. The aim of the deck is to, it's almost like a white theory. It's full of lots of low power creatures with a bit of utility, who then go on to build something bigger than the sum of their parts. So we've got one of the new cards here, Broodbirth Viper, who has one of the new mechanics for Commander 2015, Myriad. So he's a 3/3 for 5 mana, which is quite bad, but then you look at Myriad. So what it means is that whenever he attacks, for each of your opponents, create a token that is a clone of this card, attacking each opponent. So if you had 4 opponents, when you attack with him, you then create 3 clones who would then all be attacking different opponents. So very cool new ability. Looking forward to seeing some people play with that during our big commander games. So lots of just green, just general sort of small sort of shenanigans, things like, you know, enter play abilities, a little bit of draw, that sort of ideas, and then we get into some of the bigger cards like the Trample, Myriad cards, some artifacts just to help you keep stuff alive and generate a bit of mana. Blue's got, and green as well, has got some of the little bits of removal and parts in there. But here's where the meat of the deck is. I think this deck does focus quite a bit on Azuri, not as much as the red-blue one, but definitely a focus on him. So, whenever a creature with power 2 or less enters the battlefield under your control, you get an experience counter. Simple. At the beginning of combat on your turn, put X 1/1 counters on another target creature you control where X is equal to the number of experience. And if you look through the deck, pretty much most of it is 2 power. So you're going to end up buffing your creatures quite a lot each turn, one at a time, making them very big, meaty creatures. So I think this deck focuses a lot on playing Azuri. Kisito Orochi Archmage, so she's from the Kamigawa era. She's a legendary creature again, 2/2, so 2 power, good for Azuri. And for the 2 mana, blue and a green, target creature you can't be blocked this turn, and if it's a snake, it gets +2/+2 until end of turn. There are snakes in here. There also are owls. I think you could very easily convert this into almost a tribal deck with a few changes, and that really does help with snakes, who one of the few tribes that didn't really work overly well, sadly. So yeah, we have Confluence as well, which is one of the new cards for Commander. Each deck has a new Confluence. Verdant Confluence in this instance, so Choose 3. You may choose the same mode more than once. Put 2 1/1 counters on target creature. Return target permanent card from your graveyard to your hand. Or search your library for a basic land card, put it on the battlefield tab, then shuffle your library. This can be useful because you could use it to search out 3 basic lands or pump a creature twice and then return a creature from the graveyard to hand. You know, there's a lot of versatility in these confluences. They're high mana, but you get a lot of versatility out of using them. We have Command Beacon, new land. It has 1 mana, which all lands should do, and then it has tap, sacrifice it to put your commander into your hand from the command zone. This is useful for certain abilities and for playing it for entering battlefield effects and stuff. So Command Beacon has its uses, you just need to look through and find out where they are. So you've got things like Summon's Fulcrum in there for getting a bit of mana out, but going with the tribal, you have Chameleon Colossus. He's a changeling, he counts as every creature type, you know. So I think this one could very easily become a tribal deck with a bit of tinkering, which is quite cool. I always like seeing tribal decks because they're always well themed. And then onto the lands, we have lots of basic forests, basic islands, then into some of the dual colour lands. We have a Zoetic Cavern, which is cool, which is a morph creature. And we also have Command Tower, good land, adds 1 mana of any colour equal to that your commander of your commander's colour. Reliquary, no hand limit, very cool. And there we go. That is all the cards, very quickly shown in Swell the Host. So it does live up to its name. It is about playing lots of like little 2/2 creatures to utilise Azuri's ability, and then when it gets to the combat phase you get to pump them each time, 1 at a time per turn, so you can end up with quite a big army by the end of it, like lots of really powerful creatures if you're willing to spend the time building up to it. As the name says, Swell the Host. So yeah, it's a bit of a weenie deck, lots of little creatures that get bigger over time. So I think the true potential in this deck though would be to modify it into a tribal deck, be it elves or snakes or something. I think you get a lot of use out of that as well. Elves especially because of their low powers. They go very well with Azuri. Use the blue for controlling to maintain your board until later in the game when you've played out enough elves to swarm with a giant army. And there we go. That is all the cards. So remember, everything you've seen today you can buy and sell on our website, bigorbitcards.co.uk. Remember to like and subscribe so you can watch some of my other videos. We'll also be unboxing the rest of Commander 2015, so check those out. I hope you've enjoyed watching. My name's Simon. I'll see you next time. Bye.